Good evening, this is John again, and tonight we're discussing the veil of ignorance. Um, I'm going to skip to the second topic pretty quickly, but evaluating the above, I can pretty much say that I've aligned with the majority of how the veil of ignorance is obviously better or superior to such as utilitarianism or yeah, libertarianism and so forth. Um, I think we can all agree that the reason we developed the original Constitution was to protect minority groups. And by minority, I don't mean race or religion or anything. I mean minority as in, you know, the less popular opinion. Um, so, going on from there, um, I wanted to save as much time as possible to apply OP to issue of my choice. And the choice that I'd like to discuss is taxation, especially since it seems to be a very popular theme among younger generations that they want that they want to tax the more wealthy at a higher rate to provide more for the less fortunate. Uh, I find this very interesting under the veil of ignorance um, because it breaks it down, and I think it really conflicts with their original opinion. Um, and of course, what my original opinion was. Uh, so, to begin, if we were in a veil of ignorance and everybody was going to be taxed, and nobody had any idea of their personal possessions or, their personal income levels, and we had to view it on who would be taxed what, I think everybody would go for a flat tax. Uh, and I view this because if you were in that veil of ignorance, you wouldn't want to set a tax rate that could cripple your income level without knowing the income level, just on the off chance that it could provide more government choices. Um, I think it actually would make people very opposed to it. And I say that based off of if you break it down under a veil of ignorance and look at it, if everybody was taxed at a different level depending on how much they make, then the cost of living would go up for everybody. Milk would no longer cost $1 because the people up the top who were making the milk and then selling it down the chain would have to charge more because their taxation is higher. Therefore, it would do me no good to have a lower tax bracket on the bottom end because I'm spending more money on the necessary goods that I need. And vice versa on the veil of ignorance. I'm by no means a billionaire and probably will never be a billionaire. Uh, however, saying that you want to tax them more so that way we can provide more programs, I think is easily arguable under a veil of ignorance because that kind of breaks it back down into being born rich, stay rich, being born poor, stay poor. I don't think that's true. I think the best thing that you can do is to create something that is equal. And so that brings us into the equal opportunity principle with no discrimination. For it to be equal, then we need it to be across the board equal. My money is just as valuable as your money. So when you say that you should be taxed higher than me, that's in essence saying that you're more important than me and you should pay more. And I think that's wrong. I work just as hard for my money as anybody else does. So I think I should pay the same amount as anybody else does. I don't want my kids contributing less than somebody else and feeling like they're less worthy or less deserving. The difference principle, talking about the betterment for the less fortunate, well, I think that once again, if you apply this to taxation, it is for the betterment of the less fortunate because they would have more under an equal taxation, not because of government handouts, but because of more opportunities. Everybody's paying a flat tax. There's going to be a more substantial amount of money in our marketplace because it's a proven fact. When people have money, they spend money, so you tax them less. They have more jobs, they have more products, people are buying more products. Nobody goes out to dinner with their wife when they're too broke to be able to afford it. They stay at home and cook. I know there was a lot we could have gone into in this topic, and there was a lot more I had wrote down to talk about. But again, the 2 to 5 minute stipulation kind of makes it difficult. Um, all in all, I think the veil of ignorance is very interesting. Uh, but I think it would be almost impossible to achieve a true veil of ignorance from a group of people to do this, because I think natural instincts, probably the best way to say it, would kick in and always cloud judgment. Then again, sorry I went over just a little bit. Thank you and have a great evening.